Hey guys, Smith City here for Smith City Product Reviews. I'm here with Deeds Brewing Imperial Stout with hazelnut and cacao to build a fire. Now, they've done a similar beer to this that I have tried called Once More Into the Fray, and that was absolutely fantastic. So we'll get this into a glass and I'll let you know my thoughts, and then I'll read the back quickly. Thank you to my recent viewer who's just been pumping out requests left, right, and centre. You know who you are. Look at that. Wow, look at the thickness of that pour. And it is going to build a head. Wow, that head is very thin, but very dark at the same time. I'll have a bit of a sniff on the old snoz. Oh, wow. Definitely smell cacao, chocolate, almost like a dark chocolate, like a bitter chocolate, very roasty, biscuity. Oh, I'm so looking forward to this. What did I say it was? It was 14.9%. So this will put hairs on your chest. Cheers. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I'm just going to have a sniff again because I got something in the... Yeah, I'm smelling it in the aroma. Licorice. Licorice, licorice, licorice. I love licorice. This is definitely not one you can slam down your palate and light mouth. This is one where, kind of like the name, to build a fire. Build a fire, sit a bit by it, and maybe drink this for 20 minutes. This is a cracker. This is an absolute cracker of a beer. And at I think a $15 price point, it would want to be. That's the thing. If you've got a beer that is quite expensive to make, and look, stouts are generally, maybe not this per se, but generic stouts are more cheaper to make than, you know, your average IPA or pale ales or whatever, because malt is actually cheaper than hops. And in darker beers, they tend to use more malts than the quantity of hops. This is good. Oh, does this challenge? Does this challenge? So I did the Hope Rhino Stout as my first beer. Black Rhino as my first beer this year. Coming in at 18%. Because to be honest, whilst I have reviewed on this channel and also on my Instagram my favourite IPA that's come out of this year, I still hold my first beer of this year as probably my favourite. Does this beat it? It's bloody well close. Now that you're out in the fray, the true test of survival begins. As the cold creeps in, don't rest your eyes, don't close them, and absolutely do not fall asleep. You need to find something to warm you up. This definitely 14.9%, as all that sort of luxurious, sort of silky stout goes down your throat, it does start to get that higher alcohol burn that sort of like warms the stomach, warms your throat on its way down to the stomach. The Imperial Stout has been aging in bourbon barrels. There's like a bit of a vanilla sweetness, but it's not sweet, but like a vanilla sweetness to this beer for 12 months. It might be exactly what you need. Generous additions to cacao and hazelnut have shaped the flavour in this dark, vicious liquid that is both deep and rich with intense notes of everything delectable, including that sweet, sweet bourbon. It definitely has bourbon elements. It's very interesting from a standpoint of texture. And you might be like, it's liquid, Michael. There's no texture in liquid. Bullshit. When you say hazelnut, even though there's no head to speak of, can you see how it sort of sticks to the glass there? So it is medium to above medium mouthfeel. And you almost get this, you know when you have hazelnuts and you chew them and then it goes into like a bit of a paste and you sort of have that, it's not really creaminess, but it's like a paste that obviously you chewed up the hazelnuts and it's turned into a bit of a paste. But there's a bit of texture still behind it because the hazelnuts still haven't been broken down as you keep chewing. That is what that's like. And for a beer of liquid, excuse me, to be able to do that, to have those textural like elements from food is just phenomenal, Deeds. And look, we had a rough road to start off with. I reviewed one of your milk IPAs, like your milkshake IPAs. I didn't really rate that. I did that on Facebook, I do believe. Did another one of you guys, and I didn't necessarily like it. And then I found a really good IPA that you guys did, and I love that. I did that on the deck. And then I did Into the Fray, or what's it called again? Once More Into the Fray. And that just changed my opinion of you as a brewery. If you can produce something like that, and you've got a plethora, like you have a lot of you have a lot of beers to choose from, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. And obviously you're going to have hit and miss, and there's going to be different palates out there, and there's going to be different people that like different things and don't like different things. And so from a beer perspective, you do want to sort of like hit everybody's palates, and you do want to sort of be mindful of the people that are drinking your beers. And so just because I don't necessarily like that first beer, that milkshake IPA that had lactose in it, just because I didn't really rate that overly, doesn't mean the next person isn't going to like it. Same as this. I know this may not be for everybody, but like I'm telling you, if you got to spare $15 to play with, this is a beer to try. To be honest, I probably should have had it out of the fridge a lot quicker than what I did. I literally pulled it out of the fridge and pressed record. With these beers, generally, with these styles of stouts, taking it out and letting it get to not like an ice cold temperature, it does elevate a lot of the flavors in the stout. It's interesting. I wanted to do a quick review here, and I knew it probably wasn't going to be one. And there might be some people that like click off, go, Mick's yabbering it on again. Here he goes again, going off on tangents, whatever. I just don't care. Like, this beer is something special, and it's making me want to keep drinking it on camera. It's making me want to keep talking about it on camera. And ultimately, if you can't sit through a 15-minute review, you've got the attention span of a moth. That's just my opinion. We live in a world, a TikTok world that I call it, where if you're not impressed by 30 seconds, you're next. Slide right, click, move off, onto the next. And it's something that annoys the hell out of me. Is that, yeah, if you're not impressed or there's a lapse of something within a video you're watching, you're like, nah. And I was watching one of my favourite YouTubers who does similar style beer reviews. And I've been trying to work out things that I could do differently with my channel. And I sort of like asked myself the question, what do I like about the guy that does similar content to me? And I just literally said to myself last night is that I like his reviews. I like how he drinks the beer, lets you know his thoughts, and he may not necessarily be the most charismatic person. He might not necessarily be the most entertaining person, but he's real. He's absolutely real. And he's been doing the same stuff over and over again for the last 12 years, I think, and he hasn't changed. And I get caught up in the scenario, especially in the saturated market of YouTube now, because everyone's doing it, and I wanted to do something along the lines of a YouTube channel 10 years ago, and I never did. It's now become a saturated market where everyone's doing the same thing, and so it's very hard for YouTube to go, I'm going to push this person's content out because there's like 50,000 other people doing the exact same thing. So I just need to keep finding pockets. And then when those pockets come, just like that guy, I think it's a guy, that is requesting me to do reviews, is that I'm going to honour that. And it's about building a community. And so I've been looking at going, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Should I be changing things up? Should I be editing my videos? Should I be not editing my videos? Should I change locations? Should I change the way my camera looks? Should I get a better camera? Should I stop recording off my cracked S9? All this sort of stuff. And it might be irrelevant. And so did I start this channel to... And this is a beer that's more of a chat beer than really like just drink it really quick and let you know my thoughts. I lost my train of thought then. I have no idea what I just said about 3 seconds prior. It'll come back to me. No, it's gone. It's definitely not the beer. So I think what I have to do is just keep being myself, keep being authentic, keep doing the reviews that I like to do. And I have dabbled in different genres of my videos, and that's sort of who I am anyway. Like, me doing certain things isn't necessarily trying to make the certain things that I'm doing is trying to like make the channel go crazy. But then there's other things of like doing different style videos where I'm just playing around with things and I'm seeing how it feels and I'm seeing how it looks and I'm seeing if I like it. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that if I continue to just be myself and keep pumping out videos, I think I'm at like 200. By the time this is viewed, it's probably about 215, 216 video with my food reviews as well. Let's just call it 230. And so I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. Don't got to worry about trying to make myself big. I can't worry about trying to monetize my content. or to be a sellout and latch onto something and be something that I'm not. Because when I started this channel, I didn't start this channel to become big. I didn't start it to monetize videos. I didn't start it to do anything. I first started my channel doing challenges when I was in a really bad place mentally, spiritually. I started this channel on a bit of a whim with a work colleague who sort of baited me into doing stupid challenges. And then that stopped for a while because I was studying after I quit that job. And then I really liked craft beer. And I'm like, I literally could do the same stuff with my challenges with this beer stuff. And obviously there was someone that I respected in terms of the content he was providing through beer reviews, where I'm like, I could do this. I really could do this. And so that's where, and if you go back to my first ever beer review, the Bridge Road Celtic Ale, great beer, terrible review. Terrible review. Like, I was spitting over my words. And it's not necessarily because I didn't understand beer. It's because I had this mindset of going, I wonder what people think of me. If I say this and I get it wrong, then people are going to judge me, or people are going to, in the comment section, going, you know nothing about beer, or, like all this sort of stuff. And as I've gone on about things, I'm sure that'll eventually happen in the comment section. The more my channel grows, I'm probably going to get more trolls and whatever that are going to do that. And that's not meant for me to take on. It's not for me to take on at all. This is fantastic. So there's definitely a licorice component, but I wouldn't be surprised if the rich dark chocolate and the barrel aged bourbon, like vanilla-y type component, are merging together and sort of making that licorice flavor. And so, do I believe it's worth the $15? I'd probably pay $20 for this can if I'm honest. So that sort of tells you what I think of it. Additions, hazelnuts and cacao. Warning, contains nuts. So if you're anaphylaxis with nut allergies, don't bother. 5.2 standard drinks. Made in Australia, no additives, no preservatives, for best before date see can. Please recycle. This is a fantastic beer. So I'm going to call out some people here. If you're someone who's sitting there watching the content provider's review, and just out of nowhere you have a lull of interest, when you have that lull of interest, I want you to ask yourself, why are you having that? And why do you feel the need that, like, instantly you need to click off that person's channel and watch something else? I really want you to ask yourself that, because my reviews are similar. Maybe not this one because it's going for 20 minutes. But most of my reviews are very similar in the way they're constructed to the way sort of who I idolize in terms of what I'm doing. And he pumps out a lot of content, but whenever I sit down and watch a video, I watch 9 minutes, and I watch 9 minutes full, 100%. And that's the hardest thing, is he got a following when when YouTube had probably no one in the market doing what he was doing. And so he came into the market fresh, and then YouTube pushed that out to the world. And unfortunately, that's just how the world works. But there's a plethora of people doing the exact same thing now. And good on him. Good on him from starting when he did, because you go back 10 years, you go to his oldest videos, the reviews maybe weren't as polished. He sort of, as well, maybe fumbled over his words. His whole camera setup would have been like an old, really like old webcam. I'm fairly sure it was an old webcam. You could actually hear it clicking to try to like focus and zoom in on things. But I suppose what I want us to say is that if you're ever wanting to start a YouTube channel, just start it. Do not worry about going, oh, well, I'm in a saturated market. No one's going to watch my stuff. Blah, 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 blah. It might take 3-4 years for you to get like 100 followers. But at some point, the same people that are doing the same things with the mentality of going, no one's watching my shit, is eventually they pack it in and give up. If you're the person that's just going, I'm doing this for me and I'm doing this for fun and I'm enjoying it, is you'll find that over a period of time you'll hit those pockets. You'll hit those pockets of people going, like the guy that's just randomly going, can you review this oak product? Can you review this Big M product? Can you review this Big M product? Can you review this M&M's ice cream product? And just today, can you review this Freddo Frog product? And just instantly, I had no one commenting on my stuff. And in the last week, I've just had him just spamming the absolute bejesus out of me. And that's not a negative. Keep doing it, mate. I love it. I absolutely love it. And it means that then I can go, okay, well, that's what he's asking me to do. I go do it. Generally, then he's probably going to then comment on those reviews, which is then he's going to create more engagement. He might have 20, 30 people that he knows that he ends up showing that to, and you can see how that sort of snowballs. So I know this has gone away from the beer, but this is a fantastic beer. So the Hope Rhino beer, 18%. This is 14.9. This is 10 out of 10. Plus, this is the best beer I've had this year. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. Got it at Cork the Liquor in corner of Scoresby and Bronya Road. Check them out. But this is an absolutely fantastic beer by Deeds. And really go out and get it because it's a must. I'd rather you go out and get it than subscribe to my channel. That's how much I rate this beer. Anyway, that's me done. I'll catch you on the next.